What is going on, my family? Your boy Demetrius is back with another classic Tekken video. Here we are going to be talking about the Tekken games and where they rank as far as from best to worst, and which Tekken game, in my opinion, is the best Tekken game of all time as we speak right now. And before we get into it, I just want to put it out there. It's just like, this is not really a concrete list because everybody got their opinions when it comes to which Tekken game is the best Tekken game or the greatest Tekken game. So I'm just going off of my experience and my passion when it comes to these Tekken games and the order that I put them in. Some of y'all may be a little bit surprised where I have these Tekken games placed as far as the order, but at the same time, some of y'all will probably understand why I have them in the order that I have them in, because you might have experienced the same thing when it comes to these Tekken games. But before we get into it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to your boy for the hottest Tekken action on the internet, period. And we are going to get into it right now. Let's go. Alright, so here is my Tekken games greatest to worst list, or from worst to greatest, however y'all want to put it, up or down, whatever. I got it in kind of tier list fashion, so I'm gonna explain why I got these Tekken games in order. I'm gonna go from down to up, and of course, like I said, it may come to a shock to some of y'all. When we play these games, we see different things when it comes to these games, and we have different types of fun and different passion, different characters, and all of that. So I'm gonna talk about why I have these Tekken games in order the way that I do when it comes to which Tekken game by far is the greatest Tekken game of them all. First, I'm going to start off at the bottom, and of course this should be a no-brainer to anybody. I got Tekken Tag Tournament 2 at the bottom. I almost literally did not fuck with this game. I played the game for probably like a month, and I really just put the game down, even though both Eddie and Tiger were in the game. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 just did not vibe with me. It was just something about that game I just did not like, and I didn't fuck with it. I don't know what it was when it came to Tekken Tag Tournament 2. It was just, I don't know. It was really too much shit going on. And then on top of that too, I kind of felt Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was a little slow and stale. Now you got your people out there that say that it's better than Tekken 7. Yeah, right. I don't know why people even believe that shit, but Tekken Tag Tournament 2, I clearly got at the bottom. Like I said, I just don't like Tekken Tag 2. Never gelled with it, never could get into it. I really don't know what it was. I just couldn't stand it. You feel what I'm saying? But I will go on record by saying at the time of Tekken Tag Tournament 2's release, it was a tough time for fighting games at that time too. So because a lot of people were asking the question, like, how come Tekken Tag Tournament 2 sold so poorly? And I kind of feel like one of the reasons for it is that at that time fighting games were kind of in a tough place. You know what I'm saying? Street Fighter 4 had got old. Mortal Kombat rebooted with Mortal Kombat 9. Mortal Kombat 9 was one of the brightest spots at that time, but it was still kind of a tough time for fighting games. And also too, I think the timing of the release when it comes to Tekken Tag 2 was a little bit off. I just kind of felt like with Tekken Tag 2, they really didn't need to make the game. That's just me personally. They didn't need to make Tekken Tag 2. They should have just went to Tekken 7, and that should have just really been it. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 really had no business existing. The sales and the criticism speaks for itself, but at the same time, there are a lot of people that will super defend Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and I just don't know why. But like I said, there's a lot of things that come into why it sold so poorly. The main things were it was just a bad time as far as fighting games were concerned. Basically because, that was when the whole Call of Duty frenzy was going on. So a lot of people were just not really paying attention to fighting games. If you were like a casual person, you weren't really paying attention to fighting games. You were more into the FPS and all of that fucking shit, the Grand Theft Auto shit. So yeah, that goes along with it being bad timing, because Tekken Tag 2, it was right in the middle of that Call of Duty frenzy, and there were a lot of other franchises that struggled because of the Call of Duty frenzy. I mean, Resident Evil struggled. Like I said, I could be off when it comes to that opinion, but it does make a lot of sense on why Tekken Tag Tournament 2 sold so poorly. So bad timing, and then on top of that, rough time for fighting games. And then on top of that, I personally did not like the game. So Tekken Tag Tournament 2, that is the reason why this game is at the bottom. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 just didn't vibe with me. I got Tekken 6. Tekken 6, another game that I really didn't like. One thing about Tekken 6, I liked what was going on in the game. Tekken 6, for some strange reason, it did not have no longevity factor. You know, I played Tekken 6, I played it for a good minute, but then I just put it down after a while. Once I beat the scenario campaign, which is the greatest Tekken mode that they ever created, by the way, I really wish they would have brought the scenario campaign back in Tekken 8, but you know, they decided to go with that arcade quest. We can't do nothing about it, but I would have preferred the scenario campaign. That's one of the brightest spots about Tekken 6. That scenario campaign was fire. I love that shit. But once that was all over and I was able to beat it with as many characters as I possibly could, that was really it for Tekken 6. I didn't really fuck with Tekken 6. I didn't fuck with Tekken 6 competitively either. So, you know, Tekken 6 was just another one of those games. It was like, I don't know. Like I said, I played it for a good minute, but it was just like the dedication just wasn't there like it is with the other Tekken games. So we're gonna go to Tekken 2. So a lot of people are probably surprised that I have Tekken 2 over Tekken 6. Now, the reason that I have Tekken 2 over Tekken 6, now I gotta go by saying, look, I don't have the first Tekken on here because I seriously doubt the first Tekken is gonna be on anybody's top 5. And I also doubt that the first Tekken isn't on anybody's bottom 5 either. So I decided not to put the first Tekken in this list because a lot of us did not start playing Tekken at the first Tekken. Now here's my thing with the first Tekken. I played it a lot in the arcades, but when it came out for the PlayStation, I really didn't pay any attention to it because sometimes that's how it is when it came to new franchises at the time. So when the first Tekken came out for PlayStation, I was one of those people that didn't really pay attention to it, but I played it heavy in the arcades though. So here's where I'm getting at with Tekken 2. Tekken 2 was actually my first real introduction into Tekken. I played it in the arcades, and then when it came out for PlayStation, I definitely purchased the game. The reason that I love Tekken 2 so much is because Tekken 2 just kind of, the game looked crisp. You know, I was one of those people back in the day, I loved the whole blocky polygon graphics. A lot of people hated it, but I loved it. You know, Virtua Fighter, Tekken, Battle Arena to Shinden, you know, the blocky polygon graphics. I love that shit. I was so into that shit. I loved it. It was so real and so interesting to me. And Tekken 2 was one of those games. I really liked how the whole polygon graphics presentation looked. So it made me get into the game. Now, I didn't have a real main when it came to Tekken 2. For the most part, I would play probably Law, Lei, or maybe Bake at times. So I really didn't have a definite main in Tekken 2, but I still had fun with it. So Tekken 2 was like the first Tekken game that really just made me be dedicated towards the game. I played the game almost every other day. So this is where I say Tekken 2 was my first real introduction into the Tekken franchise. And for that, I do put it ahead of Tekken 6 because, like I said, I was dedicated to Tekken 2 to a certain extent as far as playing it consistently and playing it like crazy. And then on top of that, Tekken 2 was just really fun to play. You know what I'm saying? It was a real fun game to play. But like I said, it was just one of those games. I never had a definite main, but I just loved playing it. I loved what was going on in the game. You know, the whole cinematic endings and all of that type of stuff. So, you know, Tekken 2 still has one of the best soundtracks in the Tekken franchise. You know, the remix PlayStation soundtrack, I still think it's one of the best soundtracks in the Tekken franchise. Me personally, I've said this in a video I did like a year ago when Jun Kazama was first revealed, that Jun Kazama probably has the best theme in the Tekken franchise. Jun's Tekken 2 soundtrack still holds up today. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe they might remix that shit in Tekken 8, but I honestly doubt it. But yeah, I put Tekken 2 ahead of Tekken 6. Tekken 2 is still kind of low on the list, but we're going to get to the reasons why. And that's why we are going to move on to Tekken 4. Now with Tekken 4, now Tekken 4 is very, very interesting. There is a lot of shit that went on when Tekken 4 was released. Like Tekken 4 has a lot of inside drama going along with it. You know, at that time, Tekken 4 was involved in a 3D fighting game triangle at the time. It was Virtua Fighter, Tekken, and Dead or Alive, and they were all on their 4th installments. And Dead or Alive's creator Tomonobu Itagaki, he started some drama back then when it came to the 3 fighting games, and ultimately the drama that Tomonobu started, I think it really got to the head of Harada and the Tekken team. And I always kind of felt that's the reason why Tekken 4 didn't come out like they wanted it to, because I think what Tomonobu did, the Dead or Alive creator, I think he employed a tactic, and the Tekken team got distracted. And as a result, Tekken 4, of course, was not as good as Tekken 3. We can all agree on that. Tekken 4 seemed like a rushed project. It seemed very rushed. But at the same time, it was a very chill game. Tekken 4 was very laid back. You know, if you listen to a R&B album, you got that fast party dance track that starts off. That's how Tekken 3 was. Tekken 4 was like that chill, quiet storm slow jam track that came after the fast party track. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at Tekken 4. Like I said, Tekken 4 was very lackluster compared to Tekken 3. Not as good as Tekken 3 at all. Me personally, before Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was released, I considered Tekken 4 as the worst Tekken game of the franchise, just because of how lackluster it was, and it didn't really expand the franchise like Namco wanted it to. That's just my opinion. I just kind of felt like they could have done more when it came to Tekken 4. But as I said before, there's a lot of inside drama when it comes to Tekken 4 and the other 2 3D fighting games. Now, of course, if you are a Virtua Fighter veteran like myself, and even some Dead or Alive veterans, and even some Tekken veterans, like a lot of the Tekken veterans probably ignored it. But like I said, y'all probably are aware of the drama that went down between these 3 fighting games and between Tomonobu and Harada. How Tomonobu pretty much challenged Harada and got up in Harada's ass to the point Harada actually walked out on Namco because of it. But I don't want to get into too much of that, because it is kind of a different subject. But if y'all want me to make a video on that, on what happened with these 3 fighting games at that time, Virtua Fighter, Tekken, and Dead or Alive at that time, just let me know in the comment section. I can definitely make a video on that, because I do have the information and I was there, and everything that I know is straight facts on what happened. But as far as Tekken 4 was concerned, like I said, Tekken 4 was just a super laid back Tekken game. Like I said, Tekken 3 was kind of like that game that everybody played competitively or just played the hell out of, and like Tekken 4 was just that chill game. Like I said, I felt like they could have did more with Tekken 4. So I guess you could say Tekken 4 was really just an average Tekken game. One of the bright spots about Tekken 4 was kind of like Tekken 4's art design was kind of interesting. It also could have been done better, but what they did was pretty cool. I like the art design in Tekken 4. But like I said, Tekken 4 was really, you know, it was really average. Very average Tekken game. Like I said, a lot of people defend Tekken 4. A lot of people may understand what I'm coming. But, you know, to me, Tekken 4 was very average. And like I said, there was a lot of drama that went on with Tekken 4. I kind of feel like it kind of played a role into why Tekken 4 wasn't as good as it could have been. But this is where I would put Tekken 4. Tekken 4 pretty much dead in the middle where it should be. All right, so now we go to the B section here. So what I did here, I have Tekken 3 as B1 and Tekken Tag Tournament 1 as B2, because we all know Tekken Tag Tournament 1 is just basically an enhanced version of Tekken 3. So we really don't have to talk about that. We really don't have to speak on the first Tekken Tag Tournament game. First Tekken Tag Tournament game was a simple masterpiece. Everybody loved it. Great game. But we're going to talk about Tekken 3. And as y'all know, I've been talking about Tekken 3 a lot lately. So Basically, the reason why Tekken 3 is so high, why it is where it is because I've said it before. Tekken 3 is just really where the legacy starts. Tekken 3 basically pushed Tekken into one of the all-time greats. And for me, as y'all already know, Tekken 3 is very special to me because that is the introduction of my main character of all time, Eddie Gordo. But say what you want about Eddie Gordo, I've said this before. Tekken 3 would not be as impactful if it wasn't for Eddie's impact and influence. You know what I'm saying? Tekken 3 would have been successful, don't get me wrong. But with a character like Eddie Gordo, it definitely helped Tekken 3 push the boundaries. You know, the style capoeira really helped push the boundaries. I mean, we had capoeira fighting styles before then, but it wasn't to the impact of Eddie Gordo and what Tekken 3 has shown. There was also a lot of other things that went on in Tekken 3 as well. A lot of other classic characters, whether you like them or not. A couple of characters I don't like. Warong I don't like, but still, he's a legacy character. I'm not going to take that away from him. You know, the introduction of Jin Kazama, Ogre. So it was an introduction of a lot of things. And Tekken 3 was a phenomenon. And it will forever go down as one of the greatest fighting games of all time. Maybe top 5 to some. Tekken 3 also had one of the greatest fighting game soundtracks of all time. I've gone on record by saying Tekken 3 probably has the top 3 best fighting game soundtracks of all time. You know what? I'm gonna make a video on that about the top 5 fighting game soundtracks. I think people will find that kind of interesting, but I will tell you right now, Tekken 3 is definitely in that top 3 and top 5 as far as fighting game soundtracks. You feel what I'm saying? King's soundtrack, everybody loves King's soundtrack. Eddie Gordo's soundtrack, everybody loves that soundtrack. Even Ling Xiaoyu's soundtrack, man. Tekken 3 has some fire ass tracks on it. One of the greatest soundtracks of all time. Like I said, overall phenomenon. Tekken 3 just didn't do nothing wrong. The game did nothing wrong. It was a perfect fighting game. You know what I'm saying? And we can't take that away from Tekken 3. So this is why I have Tekken 3 high as B1. Because like I said, Tekken 3, this is where the legacy starts when it comes to Tekken. I mean, Tekken 3 was the staple right here. Any Tekken game that came out after Tekken 3 was that measuring stick. We're doing it today. Even when it comes to Tekken 8. Tekken 3 is one of those games that are always being bought up. So Tekken 3, absolute phenomenon. One of the greatest fighting games of all time. And we can't take that away from it. Now, having said that, as big as a phenomenon that Tekken 3 is, Tekken 5 is even bigger a phenomenon. And I've gone on record by saying Tekken 5 was just simply an amazing game, a complete masterpiece. And me personally, in my personal opinion, I feel like Tekken 5 is like the ultimate Tekken game. To this day, I feel like it's the ultimate Tekken game. Much like Tekken 3, Tekken 5 did not do anything wrong. It was near perfect. It was a near perfect Tekken game, perfect combo system. Every character that everybody wanted in the game was in the game. It did not disappoint when it came to the roster. It was everything. The music was good. It wasn't as good as Tekken 3 or Tekken 2, but it had good music and it was a fun game. The story got expanded. The cinematic endings were great. And Tekken 5 was just, you know, Tekken 5 was a beast of a game. Beast of a game. You know what I'm saying? You know what? At that time, if there was online gameplay at that time, man, Tekken 5 would have been crazy online. If there was online gameplay at that time, Tekken 5 would have been crazy. It would have been crazy online. You know how many people would have been playing Tekken 5 online? It would have been crazy. And then Tekken 5 was crazy in the tournament scenes too, especially where I lived at, man. They were crazy about Tekken 5. Tekken 5 was everywhere. It was at locals. It was at gaming stores. Gaming stores had their little mini tournaments. If you won something, you know, if you won the tournament, you will get a free classic game, or you'll get a free greatest hits games, man. Tekken 5, man. Tekken 5 was the shit, man. Tekken 5 was everywhere. Tekken 5 also had one of the best intros in the series. You feel what I'm saying? I love Tekken 5's intro. And like I said, every character that you can think of was in the game. Well, except for Tiger, but you know, still, every character that you can think of was in the game. It did not disappoint with the roster at all. Everybody that was a Tekken fan or whatever, you love Tekken or whatever, you had fun with Tekken 5. You had fun with Tekken 5. There's just really nothing negative anybody can say about Tekken 5. The ultimate Tekken game in my eye. And I just hope one of these days Bandai Namco, you know, brings Tekken 5 back. You know what I'm saying? In some type of form, you know, kind of like a re-release, kind of like they did with Tekken 6. You feel what I'm saying? Like Tekken 5, man, I just simply loved that game, and a lot of other people did too. Unforgettable game. And to a certain extent, saying all of this, and all of this is facts, like Tekken 5 still feels a little underrated. Y'all feel what I'm saying? It still feels underrated, but still, it's still the ultimate Tekken game in my eye. And finally, coming in at #1 is Tekken 7. Now, I know a lot of y'all are probably gonna disagree and probably over there like, no, it can't be. But hey, listen, Tekken 7 is #1. People gotta understand what's going on here when it comes to Tekken 7. I've always gone on record by saying Tekken 7 is unmatched in the franchise when it comes to durability. Tekken 7 is unmatched when it comes to longevity. And Tekken 7 is unmatched when it comes to replay value. People are playing this game over and over and over and over again. Look at it. Tekken 8 is about to come out. People are still playing the fuck out of Tekken 7. Whether people want to admit it or not. Like Tekken 7 is like the most hated, greatest fighting game that I've ever seen. Like for real. I mean, come on, man. Tekken 7 needs its props. I've said it before and I say it again. Tekken 7 literally carried us through that whole depressing pandemic era. Tekken 7 literally carried us. And Tekken 7 will always have a place in my heart for that. Tekken 7 had some fucked up shit going on. You know, the lack of content, the fucked up guest characters, and the cheap DLC characters such as Fakaram and Kunimitsu or whatever. Yeah, Tekken 7 has some fucked up shit going on. But at the same time, all of the masterpiece shit that it had going on, it really covered all of that. And yeah, Tekken 7 was also one of those games. There were a lot of buggy things going on with it, but hey, but still, you can't take away what Tekken 7 has created as far as impact. I'm one of those people, if y'all noticed, last couple of months, I've been speaking very aggressively about impact. I am a big believer in impact. And right now, Tekken 7's impact is just unmatched. You know, Tekken 8 is going to be great, but as far as impact, I personally do not believe that Tekken 8 is going to reach that impactful level as Tekken 7 did. I don't believe that unless it's another world catastrophe, it's not going to reach that impactful level. It's just not. Tekken 7 proved something very special. And like I said, it carried us through that whole pandemic episode. You know, Tekken 7 is still one of the most enjoyable Tekken games. You know what I'm saying? You know, the combo system, everybody complains about that. I love it. I love the way Tekken 7 is. The only thing I don't like about it is the fucking overpowered wake-up attacks. That's the only thing I don't fucking like about it. I hate that shit. But other than that, man, Tekken 7, man, gameplay, the most supreme out of all the Tekken games, despite the fact that it ain't perfect. But you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing that I respect about Tekken 7. Tekken 7 does not try to hide the fact that it's not perfect. And one of the biggest reasons why I keep saying longevity and durability is because Tekken 7 is so durable. We can play Tekken 7 for another fucking 8 years. We literally can. People are complaining about it, but if it was a reality, people would be doing it. I remember when Harada made that joke. Somebody asked him when is Tekken 8 coming out, and Harada said Tekken 7 was gonna run until 2032. Now, I knew that was a joke, but I was really wanting it to be true. That's how much I love Tekken 7. I really wanted that joke that Harada made really to become true. You know, Tekken 7 is a game. I wish they would have GTA 5 Tekken 7. I wish it would have ran another 8 years or so. You know, up to a couple of months ago, I was still saying we still don't need a new Tekken game right now. I still think we don't need a new Tekken game right now. I really don't. I mean, Tekken 7, they could have let Tekken 7 run to at least 2025. For real. The game is that durable. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, people gonna say, well, it's time for a new game. It's time for a new game. Look what's going on with Tekken 8 right now. Is it really time for it? Is it really time for it? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Tekken 7, the durability, the longevity, it's gonna be unmatched. And right now, Tekken 7 is S1. And right now, I kind of feel like Tekken 7 is gonna be on top for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Tekken 8, look, Tekken 8 is gonna be great, but we have no idea if Tekken 8 is gonna be durable. We have no idea if Tekken 8 is gonna have any type of longevity. We don't know what they're gonna do. We don't know how long they're gonna support Tekken 8. We don't know that. We do know about Tekken 7. We do know what Tekken 7 was capable of. The last 8 years, people been playing Tekken 7 like crazy. Feel what I'm saying? People will complain about Tekken 7, but guess what? The hours that they put into the game, so what's the point of complaining? Just give the game its props. And that's exactly what I'm doing, and Tekken 7 deserves to be on top. It deserves to be S1 right now. Tekken 7 is your game. It is the greatest Tekken game by far right now. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section about the list that I have as far as greatest Tekken games, and as far as the order. What order do you have the Tekken games in? What is your absolute greatest Tekken games? Let me know in the comment section. As I keep on saying, don't hold nothing back. We can get a conversation started. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to your boy for more of this hot ass Tekken shit. As I keep on saying, ain't nobody doing it like me when it comes to this Tekken shit, and that is facts. I will get back at you in the next video. God bless, stay safe. I am out. Peace.